Hey friends. So I've had this delicious 2 weeks of taking in the same medicine I give the kids, which is reflection, so we can course correct. So I always tell them mindset is everything, and you can even on an old picture with a new frame, you can change everything. You can change the whole game. So I've been taking that in for 2 weeks, just reflecting, recognizing, allowing, course correcting. Like I said, humble pie, but it was helpful. It was not only restorative for me to think about, okay, what are my next steps and how do I get there? But when I take this from the personal and to make it the political, thank you, Russ, my buddy. I love that phrase, and it's metaphor for everything, or it's true with almost everything. When I think about taking it personal and making it political and thinking about what's going on in the world and what might be some of the first steps, me personally, and I think us collectively might be able to make some impactful changes to be the change we want to see in the world, recognizing that we can't look for the governments and the institutions to provide that for us anymore. That, we're going to have to figure out how to take care of our elders and our kids and ourselves and our fundamental needs. To a much greater extent, we're going to have to become self-sufficient in order to not just, I don't have to be doomsday, but not just to survive the times, but to survive the times, I think, with our humanity intact. Because I think if we turn a blind eye to what's happening to so many, then we're missing something important that we need in order to be being our best selves, so we can live our best lives. And also, frankly speaking, I think that this government is coming for enough of us, that it's pushing a significant number of us, a critical mass, to that threshold of this is impacting me now too. I can't be apathetic and indifferent. Like, I'm impacted by this. It's coming for everybody. And I think the gift of that is, again, it compels us to realizing we need to become the change we want to see in the world. So when I think about some of what might be some important steps to help us collectively and individually get there, I think, it's a big process, but some first initial steps might be, I think, an important thing is getting more comfortable, especially in Western society and America, getting more comfortable with the uncomfortable. Because I think that there's this correlation between the more comfortable, the more society idolizes comfort, I think the greater extent of ignorance it tends to live in. Because it's like, in a way, to protect my comfort, but to protect my peace, I need to sort of put a blind eye up to some extent, because that would be too much, right? Spiritual bypassing, or just not taking in and being aware because it's too overwhelming, which makes a lot of sense. But there's a sacrifice. Our comfort for the sake of, well, before, I think we could just say other people's lifestyles, and I think now we're realizing it's our comfort for the sake of other people's lives, and I hope that rings true for more folks than not. So back to the point of what might, okay, we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Well, what might be some primary steps we could take to get us there? And I think that's going to be dependent upon every person, but some initial little 1, 2, 3 things I thought of might be, go out, venture without your phone for a little while. I realize it's ironic because I'm recording on my device right now, but I spent almost every day for the last week without my phone. And I think just getting in the practice of not reaching for that immediate gratification would be big in terms of helping us deal with that initial feeling of discomfort that comes up and feels like, oh man, I can't tolerate this uncomfortable feeling at first. But the more we expose ourselves to it, the more we become used to it. We might not ever love it, but the more we get comfortable and can tolerate discomfort to some degree, the less we're inclined to fight like hell to avoid that feeling. Because in some way, I think we've equated discomfort with survival, with being against our own personal survival means, which it so is not. So the more we can expose ourselves to it, so we can get over that feeling of fearing it, the more we'll allow ourselves to live in that space. And I think we're gonna have to live in that space in order to make the changes that we need to make to some degree. So venture without your phone for a day. Maybe geographically go out and be someplace you're not familiar with and just figure it out. Figure out how to get yourself where you want to be. That geographical awareness could be pretty powerful. It could be really helpful in a pinch. Find an interest in that goes from being something that you kind of theoretically abstract want to learn about to actually you're going to invest some time in getting familiar with it, because it could actually be a tool you could use in the rebellion, in terms of creating a better society. So for instance, if you love to garden, maybe you share your food, maybe you grow more food and you share your food. I mean, they're coming for our food supplies. We better get savvy at being self-sustainable and all that, right? So going without your food, going without your phone for a day, venturing places if you've never been, invest in something that could be good for society so that you can share it, and it's good for your soul too. These are just some basic things that we could try. There's a bird that just landed about 2 feet from me, and I love it. Birds have been everywhere this summer, and I am grateful. But just getting a little more comfortable with being uncomfortable. Whatever that means for you, whatever that means for us. We've got to learn to tolerate that feeling so we stop fearing it so much. That'll allow us to take some risks, because we need to take some risks. What's that saying? Only those who risk going too far can ever know how far they can go. Well, this mofo is risking everything for his agenda. What are we willing to risk for ours? And frankly speaking, what are we willing to risk for the next generation? Right? Do we want to be those people who leaves a dumpster fire, or do we want to be those people who leave the inheritance of heaven on earth? I know which way I want to go, so I'm just hoping we all get there. I think it's worth it. So get a little uncomfortable, take some risks, reframe a tough situation by being the change you want to see in the world, and knowing that you can do it by action-iting just a couple basic things and doing it. You're building a skill, you're building a muscle, you're building resistance for the fight. We need more fighters out there. Warriors of love, warriors of light, and warriors of hope. I love you. Be well.